Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victoria's Hockey Company, and the eccentric, wild and crazy, busy, ever entertaining, there you go, junior hockey discussion group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, X, YouTube. Today, hopefully you are watching. Hopefully not inside your car while driving. You can listen then. But wherever you are, we hope that you are enjoying a great day and morning in hockey. Today's topic, be the humble hockey player. This may not sit well with all the coaches out there. Some coaches like a good hot dog. Some guys need a player to be very selfish out there. But I can guarantee you this, that very few teams are successful with a one-man army. Just the way it is. Hockey's a team sport. And although a lot of pressure is put on individual statistics, the bottom line is if you don't have a hockey team, you're not going to win very many hockey games. That's all there is to it. Your superstar could only be on the ice 1/3 of the time. Maybe you can get in there to 35% of the time if you're lucky, 40% of the time. But really, you're going to have two other lines out there, and that guy's going to get gashed or hurt before you know it. And really, when there's so much emphasis on individual production, and you got a guy that's a 60-point guy every year, but every single year, no matter what team he's on, he's minus 20 plus, despite his 60, 80, 100 points. Always 2 dozen, 3 dozen points in the red when it comes to the plus-minus factor. Just not a team player. It's going to happen. So how do teams cope with that? What's the best way to cope with that? Coaches resist the urge to sign the panty droppers. You're going to have a team on the ice. Maybe you have 3 pretty boys on each team, but I can guarantee you this. More than that, there's not enough pucks on the ice to keep you happy. Just not going to happen. You better have a lot of guys out there that are willing to put in the work, willing to go in their corners, are not going to cherry pick goals left and right. Those guys aren't going to help you. They're going to hurt you, especially in the long run, especially down the stretch, and especially when it matters the most. So let's go through some steps to becoming a humble hockey player. I got some notes today. Bit of a headache over the week. So today you get some notes. A humble player recognizes his limitations. Outside the top 10 players in the National Hockey League, every single player on the continent in the world needs to work on their game. It can be skating. It can be lateral movement. It can be fitness. There's some aspect of their game they want to improve on. No one's content with being number 60. No one's content with being number 260 or 1,160. Wherever you are on the world power rankings for players, unless you're in the top 10, I doubt that you're really content with your game. So put in the work, understand your limitations, put in the work, and make yourself better. The humble player welcomes criticism and acts upon it. So the coach is in your ear, a teammate's in your ear, a scout's in your ear, whatever notes they're giving you, it's not a personal assault. They're not telling you you're a crappy player. They're giving you something to consider working on your game. Something you might want to address. It's not a cardinal rule. I doubt you're going to get cut for it. But there's something in your game that you need to take a look at. Understand it. Make the most out of those observations. The humble player appreciates the contribution of his teammates. No player can succeed alone. I challenge you to go back and watch some 80s post-game video of Wayne Gretzky. What he says about games, after the game, about the team's success, about his own individual success. What's the first thing that guy said most times? He thanks the contribution of his teammates. I watched Connor Bedard after the end of World Juniors a couple years ago. On the ice, the interviewer is trying to ask him about his personal accomplishments. He shuts down that immediately. He's only 17 years old, and immediately points to the contribution of his teammates. Team player understands and appreciates the contributions of others. The humble player shows class in defeat while displaying modesty in victory. No one hates to see more than me a player that shows zero class in victory. Oh, you scored your third goal of the game. You're not a monkey. It's not a zoo. You're not in the circus. Okay, do your lap, but don't be a donkey in the process. So you won a game. There's more games to be played. Didn't win the Stanley Cup. Didn't win the Robertson Cup. Didn't win the Memorial Cup. Calm down. There's more work to be done. Show some class. Don't be a donkey when you lose. I know coaches that after the series refuse to be in the handshake line after the series. That sends a nice message to your players. Humble player respects both on and off ice officials. Listen, those guys aren't perfect. We all know it. Either are you. Show some class, respect their decisions, take it as part of the game. Shut up about it. Don't complain about it. Complaining about a blown call means you won't get any calls later in the game. Coaches, come on. Screaming at a referee has ever accomplished what? Don't be a donkey. It's not personal. The guy made a mistake. Get off his backside about it. You guys are making jackasses out of yourself. Another thing to consider, there's kids watching. People are watching you. People bring their families and their children to the games. Don't let parents go home wishing they didn't bring their kid to watch your antics or your language on the ice or your language on the bench as a coach. Show some class. Be humble in both victory and defeat. Be a good example, not only for your players or your teammates, but for the kids in the seat, because you never know just how much of an influence you're going to have on those kids down the line. That's it for today. Listen, you all have the unique opportunity to have a positive influence on those around you, those players climbing up the ladder of development, those going up and the kids getting into the game, or even a father as he goes home with his children after the game. You have an influence over how he's going to treat his own kids. If he sees a coach screaming at his players, it might be okay. Maybe I can scream at my kids later on. It's not a good idea. It doesn't work. That's it for today. Till tomorrow. Hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.